Our bat mitzvah already told us about two main elements of the parsha. The laws of the Nazarite, of the Nazir, Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction. I want to focus briefly on one other thought that comes immediately after Birkat Kohanim. That we're told, right after that, obviously that V'hi b'yom kalot Moshe lakim et hamishkan, that on the day Moses finished setting up the tabernacle, he anoints it, he consecrates it, all the furnishings within it. Then the Nisi'im, the chieftains of Israel, of each of the tribes of Israel, are instructed to go in and give their offerings within the tabernacle. And it's odd that this is here, specifically because for those who follow along in the Torah, Parashat Pekudei, at the very end of Sefer Shemot, at the very end of the book of Exodus, we're told that the tabernacle is completed. At the very end of the book of Exodus, we're told, Kavod Adonai Malet Mishkan, that God's presence fills up this space. So why is this mentioned again? And again here, Midrash Bamidbar Rabbah tells us that after this happens, the Shekhinah, God's earthly presence, descends from the heavens and finally resides among the people. Why this need for this repetition, and what is the relationship between what our bat mitzvah told us and taught us, and this idea that again the tabernacle is completed, and again God's presence resides in this space? I would suggest that in Exodus, the focus is only on the completion of the sanctuary. It's only on the physical structure, on the beautiful physical structure, but it's the physical structure in which God's presence radiates and illuminates and fills up the space. Here, we're told specifically, this tabernacle was built, the furnishings were complete, and then the Nisi'im, the chieftains, the leaders of the people of Israel, they each gave their offerings. And in Bamidbar, in Naso, as we just read, each offering is listed, each offering in great detail, each offering unique and different and specific. Much of the book of Leviticus, the book of Vayikra, is focused on specific offerings that we each give at different times of the year based on the calendar, based on our actions. But here, we're told that we each give an offering that is unique based on who we are. Each of the chieftains, each of the Nisi'im gave a different offering based on who they were. Each one different than the last. And only then, Midrash says, only after those offerings were given, that God's presence resided among us. The difference is that it doesn't just take a building for God's presence to be felt. A structure is just a structure. It takes the people within that structure to turn it into holy space. And if the Parsha tells us anything, it reminds us that with each person, each of the Nisi'im giving their each unique offerings, we celebrate that we each have something to give. Each of us have something to offer, our own unique gifts. And that then, Midrash says, relates directly back to Birkat Kohanim that our Bar Mitzvah taught us. That there's some debate about why it falls right here. Some say it links directly to the Nazarite laws, but others conclude that it actually links directly to the gifts that the Nisi'im gave and the offerings they gave in the Mishkan. That is only through giving our offerings, through our gifts, and dedicating our gifts to community, do we feel God's blessing and protection. We already acknowledged and joked about our Bat Mitzvah being the Pied Piper and having the young children of our sanctuary chase her around each and every Shabbat. It's giving our gifts to help build community. It's only once we give our gifts that Kavod Adonai Malet Mishkan, that we feel God's presence filling up this space, and Ya'er Adonai Panav, and illuminating ourselves and this community. And as you and your parents offer the blessing of peace, it's only when we offer our gifts to community do we feel that sense of peace. Shalom and shalem, that sense of wholeness, that sense of completion. It's a reminder that a building is just a building, as beautiful as our sanctuaries are, as Balaam said. But those who fill up those sanctuaries are what make us feel Kavod Adonai, God's presence, filling up those sanctuaries as well.